Most relationships don't fall apart because of one huge betrayal. They fall apart through thousands of tiny moments where people stop turning towards each other emotionally. So, my name's Rick Cardwell. I'm a psychodynamic therapist and a relationship counsellor. And in this video, I'm going to talk about relationships, emotional health, trust, attachment, and the patterns that shape our lives. Because understanding ourselves changes the way we connect with others. Now, trust in relationships is something that everyone talks about. But very few people actually understand how trust is built. Most people think trust is created through the big moments, getting married, being loyal, keeping a major promise. But research into relationships over the last 30 years tells us something really important. Deep trust is not built in big dramatic moments. It's built in very small moments, repeated consistently over time. And understanding that changes everything. Because when people say, I don't know why I don't trust my partner anymore, often the answer isn't one huge betrayal. It's hundreds of tiny moments where emotional connection was missed. And this is incredibly important for couples to understand. When we first meet someone, we all talk about taking a risk. We invest a small amount of trust before it's fully earned. Then over time, trust either grows or slowly erodes. And what determines that? Researchers discovered that in almost every interaction between partners, there are two possibilities. You either turn towards your partner or you turn away. Now that sounds simple, but psychologically it's profound because relationships are built in what researchers call micro moments, tiny emotional interactions. For example, imagine your partner walks into the room after a difficult day and says, I've had such a bad, stressful day. Now, in that moment, you have a choice. You can turn towards them by saying, tell me about it. That sounds difficult. Come on, sit down. Or you can turn away. Maybe you stay scrolling on your phone. Maybe you grunt. Maybe you say you think your day was bad. Now, one moment on its own may not destroy trust, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, well, those moments accumulate. And this is where people misunderstand trust. Trust is not only about fidelity, it's about emotional availability. It's about, can I reach you emotionally when I need you? That's what creates safety. And healthy trust requires several key ingredients. The first one is awareness. Can you notice your partner's emotional bid for connection? Because many people miss them completely. A sigh, a facial expression, a quiet, are you okay, a need for reassurance. Trust grows when partners become emotionally attentive to each other. And second is turning toward. This means responding to those bids for connection instead of dismissing them. And importantly, turning toward does not mean solving every problem. Sometimes trust is built simply by being emotionally present. And third, tolerance. Every relationship contains differences, frustrations, moods, and imperfections. Trust erodes when people become intolerant of normal human vulnerability. And fourth, understanding. Trying to understand your partner's emotional world rather than immediately defending yourself. And this is hard because when conflict happens, most people stop listening and start preparing their defense. But trust grows when someone feels emotionally understood. Now, fifth, empathy. Not fixing, not correcting, not minimizing. Empathy says, I can see why that hurt. I understand why you'd feel that way. That creates emotional safety. Now, here's where the research becomes really interesting. Researchers found that betrayal and mistrust are not exactly the same. Most people assume betrayal only means cheating, but betrayal often starts much earlier. It begins internally. It begins with the thoughts we have about our partner. So let me explain. Imagine your partner is upset and they're upset again. Maybe they're anxious, maybe they're emotional, maybe they need reassurance. Externally, you might say very little, but internally, you start thinking, oh, not this again. I'm sick of this. I deserve better. I could do better than this relationship. Now, psychologically, that matters enormously because the moment someone starts emotionally positioning themselves above their partner, the relationship begins to change. And this is often the opposite of trust. The opposite of trust is not simply conflict. The opposite of trust is emotional disengagement and contempt. It's the silent narrative that says, you are becoming a burden rather than someone I care for. And once that mindset develops, a cascade often follows. People stop investing emotionally, they stop appreciating the partner. They become more critical, less affectionate, more defensive, and then conflict escalates. Eventually, couples enter what therapists often call a negative cycle or a downward spiral. One partner feels rejected, so they pursue more. The other feels criticised, so they withdraw more. And both people start to feel unsafe. Now, let me give you an example of what healthy trust building looks like in real life. Imagine a couple at the end of a long week. One partner says, I feel like we haven't connected lately. Now, a defensive response would sound like, well, I've been busy too. What do you expect me to do? Or you're always complaining. But a trust building response sounds more like, you're right. We have been disconnected lately. I miss you too. Let's make some time together this weekend. Now, do you see the difference? One response protects the ego, the other response protects the relationship. And this is one of the biggest shifts healthy couples make. They stop asking, how do I win this interaction? And start asking, how do we protect the connection? Because trust is not perfection. Trust is repeated emotional reliability. It's knowing when I reach for you emotionally, you'll usually respond. Not perfectly, not every single time, but consistently enough that the relationship feels emotionally safe. And this is why rebuilding trust takes time, because trust was built slowly over time, and it must usually be rebuilt slowly as well. People often want one apology to repair years of emotional disconnect, but relationships heal through repeated, corrective experiences. Small moments of consistency, presence, empathy, responsiveness over and over again. And if you take away just one thing from this video, let it be this. Healthy relationships are not built in grand gestures. They are built in ordinary moments where two people continually choose connection over disconnection. That's how trust grows. And that's also how trust is repaired. So if this resonates with you, please save this video, share this video, like or subscribe. Somebody may need to hear this. And if you follow me for more insights into relationship and attachment and emotional health, I'll be producing more videos on how to improve yourself. Remember that trust in relationships is rarely lost in one dramatic moment. More often, it slowly erodes through those small everyday interactions where partners stop emotionally turning towards each other. Learn that and learn to turn towards each other rather than turn away. So thank you for watching. As I said, I'll be back with more videos and I'll look forward to presenting those for you. So thanks for watching.